Mr. Redbeard.
Hola.
How you doing today, man?
I am doing just peachy. You?
I'm awesome. It's What the Tech Live, man.
It is. This is our first live. It'll be kind of fun.
It's going to be great. We got a special guest today. We have Corey Willis from Shure, and we're here today to talk to you all about the new MV7 microphone, which we're using right now.
That we are.
Sean's frozen. All right. So a little bit of housekeeping here. In this live, what we're going to be doing is going over the MV7. There's a Q&A section or a comment section. If you comment, we're going to actually go ahead and be answering questions live. So if you have a question about the MV7, don't be shy. We've got an expert in the house with us, aka Corey Willis, who has many nicknames, none of which he would share with me before the show. So I can't call him any of them. So are you unfrozen, Sean?
I believe I'm unfrozen.
Still frozen.
I'm still frozen.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, good. How you feel today?
I'm feeling great. Hopefully I'm still not frozen.
No, you're good. All right,
right,
cool. So check this out. So we've got a YouTube channel where me and Sean, aka Redbeard, we test gear, we play with gear, we have so much fun. So if you haven't subscribed yet, I'd consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. We drop videos every single week on all kinds of different products. This week we dropped an entire video about the MV7, and the MV7 is the coolest new microphone. It's called the podcast mic, but it's got so many new applications that it could be used for. And we're going to go ahead and show you a quick video. Then we're going to bring in Corey and we're going to break down this microphone and show you how amazing it could be for podcasting, musicians, streamers, and so much more. So without further ado, let's check out the MV7 teaser. How epic was that?
Pretty epic.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I should be in like a dance club in a basement in Germany or something with that going on,
Definitely. That Triple X movie with Vin Diesel.
Yes, exactly.
So welcome, Corey, to the first ever What the Tech Live. It's really exciting to have you here, and we're super excited about the MV7 launch. So we're all using the MV7 right now to broadcast. We're all using it in different ways, and I wanted to see if you could elaborate on how this MV7 microphone differs from the flagship SM7B, that classic broadcast microphone.
Yeah, of course. So, as many of you know, and if you don't, I'm sure that there you go. There's the original. I'm sure that you'll do some research and find out that the SM7B is definitely the king of broadcast, podcasting, gaming, everything right now. It's definitely one of our most longstanding and popular microphones. So, where the MV7 differs with that is the SM7B, because it's professional broadcast quality, sometimes need some extra accessories, such as maybe a cloud lifter, some sort of external preamp. You need an interface. You need a lot of things to get up and running. The MV7, right out of the box, within 2 minutes, you can be set up and ready to go, regardless of your application. So how I have mine set up right now is probably the easiest way to do it. It's USB to my computer, and I have it set to auto level mode, which I'm sure we'll get into here momentarily. It's set to auto level mode, meaning that it picks up what I'm putting into it. And on the streaming service, it's not adjusting my volume or anything like that, my gain settings. It's just clear, concise. And with our desktop app, which you'll also see here in a moment, you can adjust some certain tonal qualities with that, getting a good sound right out of the box within moments. So that's how I have mine set up. I see both of you have XLR, if I'm not mistaken, plugged in. Yeah. So that's another unique part about this microphone is if you already own all those extra accessories, such as an interface or a mixer that you want to plug into, this is just a standard dynamic microphone. It's got an XLR output, doesn't need any sort of phantom power, anything like that. It's about 10 dB hotter than an SM7B, so you shouldn't need any sort of extra, preamplification. It just works, once again, right out of the box. So incredibly versatile. Works with laptops, phones, mixers, interfaces, everything. And so where that's, I think, the striking difference between the two is that this thing is just extremely versatile. And in addition, it's customizable. So, I mentioned the XLR output. It's a standard dynamic microphone. It's going to pretty much pick up what you put into it. But if you use the USB capabilities, there's so many higher functions that you can utilize, starting with at the top, the headphone output. So when you have this thing plugged in via USB and it's powered, you can monitor but in real time with latency free your audio that you're putting into it, as well as our conversation that we're having, any sort of system sounds, if you have music playing in the background just to get you psyched for your stream, whether it's gaming or podcasting, you can listen to that. And you can actually adjust that through the app or right on the top of the microphone too. So, I mean, there's just tons of bells and whistles. When it comes to the, various tonal qualities that you can change, you can add compressors, you can fully adjust your gain right here on the microphone or, in the app. So just extremely, extremely easy to use, and many different ways that you can use this, as we'll dive into, whether you are a podcaster, gamer, or if you're a musician just looking for an at-home USB microphone without having to treat your room. And to that point, being that this is a dynamic, most of the USB mics you'll find on the market right now are condensers, which is fine for most applications, but for many people, such as myself, I don't have a treated studio here. This is just my living room that you're hearing, my living/working room now. And there's no acoustic treatment at all. But being this is dynamic and it has voice isolation technology, it is capturing my voice directly, and I can be typing, and you're not really going to hear that. Just requires a lot less setup. In addition to not needing all the extra accessories, it's really just plug it in and sounds good. So that's what everyone's looking for, I think.
So one of the things I wanted to mention was there's also a capacitive touch control on the microphone itself. So this is going to allow you to mix between playback and mic, mute the mic, adjust your microphone level right from the microphone, which is awesome. And, Corey was mentioning that auto voice leveling and the room isolation. He's sitting next to a window in the city, right? And we don't hear any crime, no sirens, no.
If I'm frozen, it's because it's snowing here. So that's why.
Yeah. So it's an amazing piece of technology. And as he mentioned, it's an all-in-one solution. So you don't need to buy accessories in order to get up and running broadcasting. You've got an entire recording studio or broadcast studio all in one piece, real-time headphone monitoring. And, one of the other features Sean recognized is with that dual XLR. You want to expand on this, Sean, how you use it?
Yeah, so like I'm hooked up to the stream, via my USB cable. I've actually got it tied up here, but I also have the XLR hooked up, and that's actually going to a recorder that I've got off on the side there. So I can also capture. So if you're doing video for post, if the stream gets screwed up because of the wonderful internet, you've got all of that stuff captured, and that's really kind of cool because both outputs, whether it's USB and the XLR, are both live, and the nice thing also is the XLR output doesn't actually have any of your DSP settings that are going through the USB. So it's a straight archive of what's going on. So it's I think that's super versatile, in having a hybrid microphone like this, because a lot of times, it's you may have a USB mic and you're like, oh, I wish I could use that for the. Oh, wait, no, I need my computer, and it gives you that flexibility for really being able to have it be a multi-purpose microphone.
And one more thing that you may want to think about is when you're doing online interviews over, say, Zoom or one of these other services, there's something called audio drift. And once your connection to the internet gets bottlenecked, what happens is the audio makes that crazy robotic noise, which can't be removed from the recording on Zoom. But if you're running that backup and you have untouched audio that you could use instead of any audio that may be hindered by a bad internet connection. And then the other thing that's really cool is you could start off as a solo podcaster with this microphone. You're plugging directly in your computer, but you may make some podcasting friends where you want to get together and plug into a mixer. You could still use this mic. You're not going to need to get new gear or upgrade to something different. You'll be able to just walk into their studio and plug right in and podcast with them. So really cool, thoughtful features being put into this mic. It's not just a USB microphone. It has been very well thought out, from the aesthetics to the actual functionality. So what I think is really cool about this microphone that's going to save people time. Many of us aren't audio people, and we don't want to dive into the details of EQing and compressing and limiting and worrying about all this stuff. It actually keeps people from creating content. It keeps people from starting a podcast or going live. So this microphone has built-in software that pretty much takes care of all that for you. And we're going to show you the software in a moment. But I wanted to let you know that if you're thinking about starting something like this and you're overwhelmed by the thought of post-processing or worrying about this stuff, this microphone itself will save you so much time on the back end and make you sound so great on the front end. So I want to bring in, Sean's going to share with us. We're going to go through all the software functionality in the Shure Motive Plus app. And I think this is one of the coolest things aside of all the features we just mentioned. This is really a game changer.
And it's free too.
It is free.
Free 99.
Free 99. That's Travis's coined a term. So, the cool thing is the Motive Shure Plus Motive app is available for Mac or PC. It's also available for iOS and Android. So if I'm recording or using a tablet, I've got control of my mics. If I'm doing something from my computer, I've got control also. So we've got the software set up here, and I'm in the auto level mode. So this is the easiest way, like Travis was saying, to get kind of started and up and running. So in the auto level mode, you've got kind of pretty basic settings. So it's really easy to get set up. First of all, you do have some presets that you can save in here. So I don't actually have any in here, but you can save a preset. So when you get it on, or if the mic's being used by different people, I could have a Travis preset, I could have a Sean preset, I could have a Corey preset, and you just go in, pull your preset in, you're kind of up and ready to go. I can also mute the we can do that. The mute button. So you've got that control without having to necessarily do it from the microphone if you don't want to. Like Corey mentioned, we do have this monitor app on here, so I can actually change how much of the microphone I'm hearing and how much of the far end I'm hearing. I like to kind of keep it in the middle because it gives me a good blend of real-time monitoring of what my voice is doing. If you've ever tried to monitor through a stream while talking, you get the huge delay because it goes out to outer space and comes back. So the monitoring of actually hearing what is going on in the microphone is super awesome. Below here, you've got mic positioning. So you've got a couple different ways of running the microphone. Near, which is kind of typically how looks like where I'll set up as, kind of that generally like that 3-finger away from the microphone. But I can also put this in a far. And if I don't like eating the microphone, I can be a little bit further back, and it's going to automatically kind of adjust the settings for me. So
it's pretty cool if you want to not have the microphone in your shot. So maybe you're streaming or you're doing something where you just I like the way the microphone looks in the shot and I like being close to it, but some people may not want that. So it gives you that consistent audio, with a little distance and maybe having that out of your shot.
not having
definitely.
to dial in the gain, by hand. It's just done for you.
Yeah. We also have tone on the bottom, this is pretty cool. So right now I'm set on dark, and it kind of gives you that, Barry White radio announcer kind of voice.
Also, the classic SM7B sound there.
Exactly. It's that SM7B sound. We also have a natural mode, which is going to give me a little bit more of a natural kind of sound. This is good if you're trying to capture, I would say, accurate recordings, and you want it to be more natural. And then you've got a bright setting here, and the bright just gives you a little bit more presence in the top end, a little bit more of that articulation. So you've got a lot of options there, and as you can hear, it's kind of a real-time switch, so you can change all that on the fly. If you're an audio guy and you want to get into all the settings, there is manual mode. So manual mode, I have, again, presets, the mic mute. In here, I've actually got the ability to change the gain manually. I've got my monitor mix, and then I've got a little bit more EQ options here. So we've got a flat EQ, a high pass, which is going to take a little bit of that low end rumble out. A presence boost for, again, that speech articulation, and then kind of a hybrid mode that gives you the high pass and the presence. So it gives you a lot of options there to really tailor your sound.
These are all cool things because if you are doing anything in post, a lot of these save you a step. It saves you an instance of a plugin on your mixer channel. It's going to, all this is time saving for you to make something without having to get in the weeds and EQ things. They've really thought this out for propelling you in making new content.
Exactly. You also have a limiter on here. This is Travis's favorite tool. He's all about the limiters lately. So kind of keep that mix in control. And then you've got a compressor setting down here. So right now we're listening to it off. You've got a light mode, a medium mode, and a heavy mode. So that heavy mode really kind of gives you that pillowy, radio announcer kind of voice.
Yeah.
The pillow, as Travis talks
That's
about.
My preset is the pillow. It's called the pillow because it sounds so good.
So the cool thing is this app just rides up in your toolbar on my Mac. When you don't need it, you just shut it. It's running in the background. Super easy. There's not a whole lot of training or having to figure out all the software and things like that. So.
And then you can actually lock it out, right? So if you don't want to accidentally touch your buttons, you can lock that out, and then nothing's going to happen if you move the mic, if you handle the mic at any point, which is a really cool functionality.
Yeah,
and just to the left of there, that drop down, you can actually connect up to 2 MV7s to your computer. And you can select, you can have them both running in the app and have them configured differently. You can rename them temporarily while they're plugged in, and you can go back and forth and adjust up to 2 MV7s connected to your computer at once.
Huge.
And this is also, it's obviously a different color scheme, but this is what the phone app looks like as well. So you can adjust all those parameters once it's plugged into the phone too.
So there's nothing that this mic won't do for you besides actually talk for you, right?
Yeah, besides actually making the content that you are hoping to create. Exactly.
All right, Corey. So we've talked about a lot of this stuff. Can you elaborate on who you think this mic best suits? Who is this microphone for?
Definitely. We've talked a lot about podcasters, so I'm sure we'll get there at some point. But I guess just to start, we've seen the SM7B and its popularity with some of the biggest gamers in the industry, just because of its sonic quality, but also its aesthetics. Jason, we also love the MV7. Thank you. But also because of its aesthetics. But we spoke to the versatility of this microphone, and I think this is perfect for gamers because there are going to be gamers out there that do streams all the time and have an interface and have headphones and have everything that they need. They're all set up and they can just run this XLR out into their existing system. There are also, being that it's USB, that just gives you added versatility. So no matter what gaming platform you're using, whether you're doing PC gaming or, online gaming with a console, this can plug into anything that you've got pretty much. So that versatility is going to be huge for gamers out there, as well as, we spoke to the accessories. This is substantially, less of a buy-in for a more professional broadcast sound for those gamers that just spent $2,000 on their PC gaming computer. So
it's kind of crazy the amount of all of the extra stuff that you need to make an SMB work with your system is about what this microphone costs. So,
but it's worth it once you get there. But if you don't have that much scratch to spend at the time, or like I said, you just spent all your money on the new Assassin's Creed game that just came out, and so I mean that's where I would start, thinking outside of necessarily podcasting just for right now. Also musicians. This is a dynamic microphone, as you know, or you may know, the Shure SM57, SM58. You can pretty much throw that on anything. It's guaranteed on at least one instrument or one vocal track on every recording that you've ever heard. Well,
I've got a story for
level
you.
of certainty. Yeah, go for it.
The Killers album, I think it's Sam's Town, whatever their big, huge record is. The guy who recorded that album recorded the entire record with SM57s.
Oh my gosh. I did not know that. That's amazing trivia.
The entire record was the only microphone used on that record.
I'll have to put that in my back pocket. I love that.
There you go.
Also, if you've ever heard any Woodstock recording, this is the only mic that was on stage during that.
Did you just time travel to Woodstock?
Oh yeah, I did. So I mean, dynamic microphones are just inherently versatile. They sound great on everything, especially Shure Dynamics. We've got that game kind of nailed down. So when it comes to musicians that are looking for a USB microphone, once again, maybe for at-home recordings or recordings on the fly where you don't have time to get into a sound-treated room or a studio, this dynamic microphone is going to be great to just set up on your desk, on a mic stand or a boom stand just like this, track vocals, and because it's a dynamic microphone, you can throw it on virtually anything, and it's going to sound great. You're going to be able to have great audio to work with without all of that room noise. So put this on an acoustic guitar, put this on vocals. It's going to be very, very versatile for just about any musician out there that's looking for some better at-home recordings. Definitely. Awesome. Those are the first two segments I have. Travis, you're a little bit more well-versed in podcasting, if you want to touch on that one.
Absolutely. No, I'm Mr. Podcast over here. I'm obsessed with podcast, and a lot of people that I hang out with or interact with are always asking, what microphone do I buy? And I think a lot of them go see what someone else is using and they want to use that microphone. And one of the biggest things that I tell people is that you want a dynamic microphone for podcasting. And there's a few reasons why. Obviously, condenser microphones are best suited for a good recording environment, but we all don't live in a recording studio like Alan Parsons, right? We're out here in our offices, in our homes. And so the dynamic microphone is going to automatically give you an advantage over someone using a condenser microphone. Now, this particular microphone and all the Motive microphones have that DSP built into it, which are going to help somebody who's just getting into this whole thing really get a great sound right out of the gate. So you're not going to have to worry about learning how to use a bunch of EQ and a bunch of other things. You're just going to go ahead and start making a podcast, which I think is really important. So everybody wants a 7B, and it's it is worth it. If you have the budget, it's definitely worth it. It's in my kit, but this microphone, I think, for anybody who's dipping their toes into the water of content creation, it's the perfect microphone, because you're going to buy something cheap and you're going to buy it twice. So you might as well just get something from a manufacturer who's, an industry leader, who's made legendary sound forever. And it's going to help you make content faster. So if you're thinking about starting a podcast, I would start with this microphone. Or I'm a big fan of the digital recording kit, which has a PGA 58A and the MVI interface. Again, dynamic microphone into something that has DSP that's going to automatically make you sound. I really had trouble getting that one out.
I was going to say one other area that's, obviously in these times, we're all working remotely. So we spend a lot of time doing demos, doing meetings on, Zoom or Teams or Skype, Google Hangouts, all of them. So, one of the things is I'm going to do a little demonstration here. So I just finished my office in my basement, and I've got a tile floor. I got drywall walls, not a good environment for the microphone. So, on meetings, I always find it distracting when you don't have good audio. You hear a lot of room noise, just kind of a lot of echo and stuff going on, and that drives me nuts. So it really is hard when you're on Zoom calls all the time now
Right.
to really pay attention. So, I'm actually going to do a little experiment here. So, I'm talking through my microphone, obviously, but I am actually going to switch to just my computer microphone. So you can hear now that I am talking on my MacBook, and you can all of a sudden hear the room. Nothing
Very apparent.
all I did was just switch the mic. So, we'll get back to the MV7 here. So you definitely hear how much it takes out of that room. So again, kind of hitting that point home of if you've got the L train driving by your window, or neighbors in the hallway, or kids, in the other room screaming, it's going to block out a lot of that and really give you that super good audio quality.
Yeah, and let's be honest, when you're on a Zoom call and you're making a pitch to a client, or you're making you're asking your boss for a raise, do you want the audio to be all echoey and sound bad? No, you want it to be commanding and have a really great connection through an audio experience. So first impressions are everything. So if you jump on a Zoom call and you sound like this, people are going to say, what microphone are you using? And you're going to impress the entire room, or virtual room rather, of people on that meeting. So definitely a work from home application possibility. There are other products that are work from home, like the MV5, which is also a USB-C microphone, which would be a good option for that as well. We do have a question, which I'd like to address or have Corey address. So some reviews have had issues with plosives. Are there any plans for a better windscreen? So,
so I have one that's actually taken apart here that may help as a visual. So, the capsule doesn't sit as far back as you may be used to with an SM7B. We just released this product yesterday. I don't believe we have any plans for a different windscreen for it. But what I may just say is that compared to if you're used to using something like an SM7B, where the capsule sits very far back, doing a demo on the fly here, the capsule sits right there in the center of it. So technique wise, you may just need to give it a little bit more space than you would with an SM7B if you're used to using that.
Exactly. It's all going to be about microphone etiquette. So I did see a few videos yesterday where I heard some plosives, and I do think that the person presenting was just too close to the mic. You need to figure out that happy medium or talk off axis if you want to reduce those plosives. So good question.
Yep.
But I think
Excellent.
it's more of a microphone etiquette than a new windscreen. Does Shure have any plans for an entire windscreen bubble to put around yourself while you're podcasting?
I saw that question come in, and no,
Okay.
I don't believe so.
The Shure bubble.
The Shure bubble.
One thing I want to interject here, kind of going back, I like to mention, obviously people are used to Shure's quality, of everything is built super rugged and super, super nice. The one thing that I'm really amazed at, at the price point of this microphone, coming in at $249, it's all metal construction. It feels beefy, and Shure does some crazy testing with microphones. All the drop tests and
rub tests
out of helicopters. We've dropped things out of helicopters. So yeah,
the crazy things. And this mic, even at a really affordable price point, it's not. It's subjected to all of that same engineering technology that goes into every Shure product. And I'm going to interject a little thing about one of the other videos that we just did. Check out our YouTube channel. Shure also just released a new lapel mic, the Duraplex, and
we're actually going to show that at the end of this live.
We put it through some extenuating circumstances, so check that out. But the MV7 is really built like a tank. I mean, it feels very professional, which I just like to point out, because sometimes you get these USB microphones that are on the market that they feel like toys.
Well, this is proof of one thing with Shure microphones. So historically, everything that's come out has essentially been a copy or an reiteration of a Shure microphone. Most of the USB microphones are either like fake SM58s or something similar. This particular microphone is inspired by the SM7B, which everybody wants, but it also is an innovation for people who are creating content. It's not just another microphone, right? So instead of just putting out another microphone, Shure put some thought into this, market research, figured out what would be the best solution for people who are doing things in 2020, like streaming, gaming, podcasting, all those things. And they propelled it forward. So
this is something we've been working on for a while. And I think that right now just so happened to be the perfect time to release it. But given the in terms of the rugged quality of it, I can't wait to travel again so that I can throw this in my bag. And as a musician, someone that's constantly recording podcasts, I can have this on the road, and it's consistent and it's simple. I don't need to bring a bunch of things with me. This metal microphone will be in my my backpack on the airplane, on the bus, what have you, and get consistent recordings wherever you are. So I'm very
You might
very
get a
excited
couple questions from TSA of what's that giant black metal cylinder in your bag. But the price we pay for being an audio guys traveling on airplanes.
Of course. Just please don't disassemble it. It's the only one I have. Yeah.
Well, this has been a lot of fun, Corey. I really appreciate you coming on with us today to share our passion for the MV7 and elaborate on some of the things that we might not have known.
Yeah.
If you guys have questions about the MV7 or would like to find out where to order one, please visit us at audiobiz.com and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Redbeard and Cue Ball. We're always making What the Tech videos, what's in the box videos to try to bring you some information about the coolest products that we represent. So, Redbeard, do you have anything to share before we share this Duraplex video with everyone?
I just want to thank Corey again for coming on and being on the maiden voyage of What the Tech Live. So it's kind of fun. I think we're going to do this a lot more. And if you ever have topics that you want to have covered, if it's a specific product or even if it's just concepts, let us know, and we'll get special guests like Corey on.
I think he's going to be a recurring guest.
I think
I would love that, and thank you guys for having me. This has been great. I'd be more than happy to come back anytime. So thank you.
Rock and roll. Well, I'm going to show you guys the Duraplex video we did. Make sure you subscribe, rate, and review any of our videos, and come back and join us live anytime. This was episode 1 of What the Tech Live, and it was a pleasure being with you all.
Can your lapel or headset do this? Hey, this is Redbeard here from AudioBiz, and today we're talking about Shure's new Duraplex line of headsets and microphones. Shure microphones are synonymous with durability, and their new Duraplex line goes above and beyond any other lapel or headset microphone you've ever seen before. Let's talk about the capsule. Duraplex boasts a 5mm omnidirectional sub-miniature design for discrete placement and improved gain before feedback. You'll get a very natural, full sound quality for film, broadcast, speech, theater, and other performance applications. The microphone element is a MEMS condenser. A MEMS condenser element is extremely small, only 1 to 2 millimeters in size, and is extremely durable and captures great audio quality during your performances. Let's talk about the cable. Historically, on lapel microphones or headset mics, the point of failure tends to be the cable due to improper handling. Shure's engineering team has created a cable with unprecedented flex life. The Duraplex comes with a 1.6mm Shure Plex cable. It's a fully paintable cable with virtually zero memory effect. Plex cabling has an exclusive spiral cable technology with redundant grounding, which lasts significantly longer than other cables in this category. Shure created this proven technology when they released the TwinPlex line of microphones. You'll also get high RF immunity compatible with digital wireless systems without any RF interference. Let's talk about durability. Shure's Duraplex is IP5 rated for dust and IP7 rated for water. So whether you're performing a baptism, conducting a cooking class, commentating on an MMA fight, or performing at Burning Man,
Shure's Duraplex series of lapel microphones and headsets have the durability, consistency, and simplicity to rock your next performance.
For more information or to schedule a demo, visit us at audiobiz.com.